Alright, Chapter 13, Taking Control of Your System. Overview. Until now, with this book, you have used the MS-DOS command with the standard form MS-DOS, however, that gives you with a great deal of flexibility controlling ways some commands do their work. Chapter describes two ways which you can control the system. Begin with the chapter and introduce the control concept, input and output redirection. Essential redirection form of traffic control allows you to route input and output between devices. Follows you specify. You can also see how chapter allows you the redirection MS-DOS command. Let's control both form and content command input and output. If you have version 5 or later MS-DOS, the control of the chapter takes further into the DOS key program into the chapter 3, getting your bearings. Use the DOS key. You'll see not only how to edit commands you already use, but also how to enter and carry out more than one command at a time. Redirecting command output. Easily visualize what happened to command output, so even though it might seem the odd, discuss the result of discussing cause of the section. Command output gives you the foundation understanding of command inputs as well. Result output with the most commanding and some actions such as copying a file with a copy command, controlling the operation device mode command output with some commands. However, the directory, check disk, and tree is a report up to now. How you have used these reports primarily as display. MS-DOS have sent them in the standard output device. The console. Recall chapter 7 of managing your devices. MS-DOS. Usually the name of the console for console and both the keyword input only with the display with the output only. Also, you see with the chapter of the MS-DOS lets you send reports other output different devices such as the printer to file with it's called redirecting output with the command you can do. You did it a few times. Previous chapters such as with the command, the directory with the print, and with the technique with the symbol with the directory redirect output with the command normally send with the result of the standard output. Display type of the command name file with the greater than sign with the name of the device with the output with an sent with the greater than looks like something like an arrowhead pointing towards an alternate output device file with its direct redirect output file that does not exist for the MS-DOS will create a file. When easily the direct output of the print of the copy directly is used in chapter 4 looking at the file with the floppy disk to repeat the example about the time and any understanding what happens to be sure the print is turned on and type the following C drive directory greater than PRN. The greater than tells MS-DOS to redirect the output of the directory command print tell the MS-DOS to send it to the printer. The directory should be printing on for as long as you want to cancel the printing control break. Redirecting command input. You've seen how easily you can redirect output with the device or file, but it can just as easily redirect input effective as an MS-DOS command given in the data from the source of the other one, often called standard input device. The normally you the redirect file with the command name of the greater than character for the name of the device from the input is coming. You got the redirect input and output known with the redirection. Although the redirection might be sound complicated, easy to understand with examples in this chapter show. 3 MS-DOS commands normally collectively filter commands make particularly effective use of the redirection. Filter commands. Filter commands take an input with the device and file chain of the input some way and send with the result of the output of the device. They call filter commands because they work much filter water system that takes income water, changes it into some way, and sends it along the system. MS-DOS includes free filter commands. Sort of range like with ascending and descending and finding search, stripping and straining of characters, more temporary holds of the display after one screen will give you the chance to read the lines. Redirect both input and output filter command. Filter commands are really intended to be used in keyboard input rather they are designed together. The input of file even with the output with another command. This chapter shows how to use the combined filter commands to create your own powerful specialized commands. Preparing for example, the redirection filter command gives you the example gives you elements of simple file management program. Then you won't replace the file manager. While they won't replace the file manager, lets you MS-DOS search and sort simple lists without spending extra money and time on another program. The examples in this chapter sample the file. Almost everyone needs a list with the name of the telephone numbers to often file with the telephone number. Business cards are out with the date and complete other off. The question arises: what if the number of the telephone index business card file with it, or did I file with the number in Jones under accountants? Examples show that how to let MS-DOS keep track of your phone list and eliminate these questions. Check the current directory, run DOS of the type following. C drive change your current directory, run DOS into a sample file. Sample file, PH text, you can create with the MS-DOS, you can use the own word processor, with the save of the documents on formatted text is that file don't contain any program own formatting codes. Each line file contains 6 items of data: list, last name, first name, area code, telephone number, keyword, and identify the category. Short description keywords are cust for customer, cons for consultant, ven for vendor, and you enter the items in specific columns. You can also sort the list of any items to edit with the create the file and start with the new file, name the file, single command, type of the following, run, edit, ph text. Now you can begin with entering showing items into the file. Help you gain items in the correct column following the enter show for the first place period, marking each space, type the line shown, and press the spacebar once each period shown. Enter the line, press enter. Enter the remaining lines and sample the file using spacing of the first line with a guided type of all the lines, save the file with a quit editor. Now that you're ready to use the file, take to see Alice White, type of the following notes for the capital W, run DOS, find WHPHT. Show that we'll find then the PHT Ackerman's White and Alex. White and Alex this fast, but it's just the beginning. The sort filter command. The sort filter command arranges the sort line with the input sent for the standard output for the unless the redirected output. For example, the parent of the enter for the command, no output for the sort line's input with the ascending order alphabetically A to Z with numerically lowest high number to sort with the character in the first column. Sort command has two parameters: sort and R command reverse and plus column. Reverse sorts the lines in reverse order from Z to A or highest to lowest number. The plus command column sorts the lines in a specified column rather than starting on the first column. To sort a particular file, you can redirect the input sort command following the command name with the greater than sign with the name of the file with the sort done with the version 4. Later, MS-DOS be sure the space before after the greater than symbol. If you do not redirect the input sort command, sort the line the type of the keyboard standard input sort command examples. Figure 13 show the column number, each of the 6 items with the telephone number, list the name of the first, the name of the error code, telephone number, keyword, description. You use the columns to sort the file in different ways. Simplest way to sort the ascending order is just send the first column into the sample to sort the entries by last name type. Run dash sort, ph test, text, MS-DOS quickly displays the sorted results. First item, then for the file itself has changed. What you see simply is the MS-DOS reading sort and display with the lines of the files, sort them in reverse order, run DOS sort, and then parameter R and PH text. It does not MS-DOS now. It doesn't take any longer to sort backward. Suppose you wanted to arrange a list of the keyword, the first consultant, within the customer, within the vendors for the first letter of the keyword in column 37, then you sort of the run dot sort, and then we put parameter plus 37 in the ph text. And then now easy to pick up the different categories, sorting fast and easy. The find filter command. The find filter command searches the line with the input, the string of the character specifies you the enter for the command with no parameters over the string of the file name. Find with the command displays all of the lines containing the string. Find command has 6 parameters: find, parameter V, parameter C, parameter N, parameter I, string, and file name. Parameter V displays all of the lines that do not contain a string. Parameter C, count, display with the number of the lines found, but not the lines themselves. Parameter N, number to display with the input line, number each of the line found. Parameter I, ignore, version 5 later, called with the find to come to the ignore differences between uppercase and lowercase. For example, the treat A and A is the same letter. The parameter string is the string characteristic you find with the most enclosed the quotation marks. Keep in mind, unless you specify with the parameter I parameter, the finding command distinguishes between upper and lowercase letters. So CON or lowercase console and uppercase console for the examples are different strings. File name is the name of the file to be searched for the omit the file name. Find with the command search standard input includes several different file names. Single with the file command simply separating the file names and specify some of the files are in different directory with a different drive. Proceed the file name with appropriate path and drive letter. Find command example to display entry for the consultant with a file name ph6 type the following run dots find consultants phtx and that's the insert is cons. First line output identify the phx. Each line contains a string of the consoles displayed immediately after. See the find command work more than one file type the following to make the duplicate copy of the phone. Run dots copy phx phone 1 text. Now type the find command. You can use the preceding example. Time included both files. Run DOS find cons phx ph1 text. MS-DOS display the name of each of the consoles with the phx and ph1 text. Alright, output so using the find command that serves the character string with the trouble find with a more productive contents file with the differ with the example show with the method if it's not fully compatible with the command with the ph1 text anymore with the stuff with the deleted ph1 text to keep your mind desk uncluttered. Return out of the original phone list PHG text. If you just want to know how many consultants are in the list, use the parameter C option or count. Run dash parameter C count councils pH test. The timeline identified with the input show with the number of the lines if it contain the string. 3 lines file with containing the councils after O option has real telephone index sample to file. Even the different words abbreviation mean the same thing. Both engineer and ENG are used, for example, to describe engineer. Both words ENG, however, can use so you can find it all engineers by typing the following: run dash find ENG PH text, and that's the targeted selected word. Selected insert. Also happens in real life capitalization, same file, not consistent. One entry for the example contains notation, chemical engineer, another contains all lowercase chemist. You can also avoid inconsistent specifying with a stream of HEM rather than chemical or CHM. But if you have version 5, you can use the parameter I instead of telling the find command to ignore upper lowercase. You have version 5 or to later type this. C run dash find parameter I chem insert specific PHT text and insert PHT with quick response. Find the lines that do not contain string. With any version, MS-DOS gives you the parameter V parameter to display lines that do not contain string. For example, the display with the entries note that 747 area code type E for this run dash find parameter V index parameter insert parameter 747 P out of the PHT text. Include the left parentheses 747 to distinguish between entry for the area code, entry for the maintained 747, and the phone number. Try the example left the parentheses, and then it's the same thing without the parentheses. Edit Smith telephone number 835-8747 that has the entry displayed, even though the area code is 541. You enter for the characters to be included enough of the information specified local. Looking sample file example 7 would be enough to specify 74 area code. It wouldn't be enough, however, the file contained another area code beginning with 7 that you saw that you must include the left parenthesis to distinguish area code from some other set of numbers, including the line number of the output. Display the entry of the people for the Smith, include the line numbers of the entry using the parameter N. C run dash find parameter N, insert word Smith out of the PHT text. To enter the displayed second and sixth line with a sample line, combine find command options, combine find command options example the display entries not in 747 area code to include their lines, but both in parameter V and parameter N options. You can see run dash find parameter VN in the parentheses 7 out of PHC text. If you edit to create a sample file, you might also see 11 period end of this report problem cover the enter. With finish type slash entry, then doing so create a blank line find as included its insert blank line listed because of the you find to show the numbers all the lines contain 747 area code. Alright, more on redirecting. Earlier in this chapter, we redirected the input sort command specifying with the file PHF. You can also redirect the output with the filter command, print with the entries of all of the vendors, and then that with the redirect of the output display with the printer type of the following run dash find. Insert word pen P out of the PH text, and then we're going to print the enter of the printout of the phone list of 203. If your phone list has 200 or 300 entries, the technique of using this option, redirecting output quickly away to printing shown in the selected group of the entries, redirecting both input and output, redirect the input and output following the command list of the greater sign by the name of the output of the device, and then followed by a less than sign by the name of the insert bracket within the name and the output of the device with the be sure to include the space before. Then the both insert brackets do not have version 4 or later MS-DOS. To insert the two example the print alphabetized version of PHT text, check with the chat printer is on it and type the C run dash sort bracketed PHT PRN input sort command PHT text output of the redirected printer. MS-DOS allows you to redirect both the input and output single command from the same file, but the MS-DOS now reports any error of the example that you type with the sort over the PHT text or PHT text. You do not know, however, that you may destroy your data. You might destroy your data if you want to sort the file, keep them in the same file name. Do not do the following. Redirect output temporary file, the PHTMP text to sort PHTXT in the reverse order. You won't sort parameter R. PHT text out of the PH temporary text. If you're certain you don't need delete original delete PHT text. If you want to keep the original, give it a different name such as old PH text using rename command and rename PH text to old PHE text. Then use rename command to give the temporary file original file with the rename PHTM text of TX PH text. The old new version of PH text would contain the telephone listed in the reverse order. Verify the contents displaying PH text with the type command. Adding redirecting output file with the redirect output existing redirected output play for the original file, but you can also add redirected output in with the existing file using instead the file that does not already exist created just as when you use it. Alright, connecting commands with a pipe. Powerful way using filter command, redirect output, some of the other command, input, filter command. In fact, with the two commands, connect with the output with the first command, feeding directly into the filter command, continuing analog water system connection is called the pipe. You tell MSD to pipe without the one of the command input and another typing between name of the two commands and the large flat brackets provide with the connection between the two commands with the more filter command provides a simple example. The more filter command displays one screen and 24 lines unless specified otherwise with the mode command followed by the double dash or more double dash more than pause. When press any key, more display with a new screen full pauses and again necessary for the continuing with the same way until the input as displayed. For the following example, the needed disk of the directory that contains more than one screen full of files. Your DOS directory will do the following: run DOS directory DOS and then the flat bracket more. The command ms-DOS redirect the output of directory command to the input more command. The more command display with the first screen with the directory, then the double dash more, double dash bottom of the screen. Press any of the key to see the rest of the directory. Press Control break to cancel more command. Return the system prompt more command. Less review of the long output sequence file without having the press of the pause. The control number lock to start with the top of the display. Our combined filter commands. You can pipe out the out one put find command with the input and of the find command to the makeup of the more specifically search read live with the list of the specifically sample the phone list. The example that might include 7 dozen commissars. Suppose you want to display with the name of the customers in 747 the area code only. Do this pipe output with the find command that searches for the customer for another find command. The search of the 7 and type this. If you check earlier file, you see with the red green is a customer by the area with the code 541, second and first command. Find the command eliminated entry for the name and notice of the line identified with as PH text. Display finding the command pipe, the PH text has more output second first command because the line does not contain a string second does not include by output second and first command. You also use the pipe out find command sort command to see all of the console and sort the last name type the following. Run DAS, find, console, inserted word, PH desk, and then flat bracket sort. You can combine as many commands as you like. Suppose you want to print a list of all of the customers in 747 area code, search for the telephone number, search for the PH desk for the customer, pipe output first command with a search of number forward parentheses 7, then pipe out with a sort of the command with a sort of the 27. 27 the telephone number, redirect the output with the printer type, try finding the type of the following printed output include. If your list includes several dozen customers, it could be handy to way to organize a campaign. Difference between greater than and a flat bracket. Some distinction from a greater than and a flat bracket isn't apparent with a greater than redirects output with a file of the device while the flat bracket redirects the output to another command. The difference is easy to demonstrate. Sort of the filter command to make output of the directory command to input sort of the command type of the following: run C drive run dash directory C drive backslash flat command flat bracket sort. If using ms.62 or later, add the parenthesis negative p or negative w after the direction. Negative p ensures the directory command does not pause after one screen full of information. Negative w ensures that the directory entries are displayed in single column. As you would expect, ms.does display with the directory sorted in alphabetical order. If the directory includes two files whose names are like 07f2321 and or percentage pipe is $signs, don't be alarmed. Temporary ms.dos creates in order to pipe the output of one command input of another. MS-DOS deletes files automatically. Note that our run DOS directory C drive bracketed greater than sign sort. Alright, if using MS-DOS 6.2 or later, the parameter negative P and pregnant of the W after directory P ensure that the directory command does not pause one screen full of information. Negative W ensure that the directory entry is displayed in a single column. time you can see adding screen because if you do MS-DOS redirect the output of the directory command on the file name sort, confirm with the display on the file type command. C run DOS type sort. File contains directory which is not sorted. Create the file when you are redirected output of the directory command. You do not need this file, so delete it by typing delete sort. Alright, adding MS-DOS command with DOS key. As you've seen with the command with the redirect filter output, and then both will become along with the complexity, especially include with the separate subdirectory name, file names, extension. But you now have many of the use many MS-DOS commands over and over again to the point where you probably have no idea other a lot of the number of times you have typed the directory file with the drive letter and path name and the file name. If you're version 5, you can repeat or edit recent command using the small program named DOSKey. The first entered encountered in Chapter 3, Getting Your Bearings. If you don't have version 5 or later, you do not have DOSKey, so you can go on to Chapter 14, creating your own commands. Typing DOSKey first time during a session with your computer calls MS-DOS load DOSKey program into memory. Once in memory, DOSKey keeps in track of the command typing all allows you to go back and review the pressing of the arrow key and function key. Even though DOSKey lets you reuse the command that you typed earlier, you might want to change it slightly by specifying a different drive of the file name. You recall the previous command. DOSKey lets you use these keys in Figure 3.13 to edit. Home, control home, which deletes the cursor location beginning of the command, and move the cursor to the end of the command, control end, delete the cursor at the end of the command, left arrow, move the cursor one character, control left arrow, move the one word group of characters without space left, right arrow, move the cursor one character to the right, control right, move the cursor one word group of letters without the right, add type the character location cursor for the first time, pressing it, insert overstrike with existing characters for the next time, press taggles between these tags. To action deletes a character location cursor. Do not move the cursor. Escape. Erase displays command. Alright, to see how the edit commands with DOSKey, start with the loading of the program into memory. Thus, C drive run DOSKey install. Now, type the commands, press enter, and then the code key run DOS find inserted wordsmith and PH test flat bracket sort mine parameter positive 11. Or when you've wanted to type another command almost like that one, instead of having to retype the whole thing, DOSKey recall the command to the screen, and many of the changes like it. Press enter to carry out the command. You can start use the upper arrow key to display the command, use the small upper arrow key. MS-DOS dutifully redisplay with the fine command you just typed. You first end with the Smith to black. Press home, move the cursor to the beginning of the command. Control right the arrow once with the cursor on with a quotient mark. Proceeds to S Smith, then press the right arrow to move the cursor under the S for Smith. C run DOS find Smith PH test flat bracket sort parameter plus 11. Now type back and north of the character for the type of the replay for the characters there were. Insert for the characters, play for them words. Press insert the before and beginning typing. Delete the characters you would press delete once for each of the characters you remove. Your command should look like CJS run find insert word block on PhD text sorted. And then plus 11. Press enter for the time PS list all of the people name and then alphabetizing them first name pressing up arrow and display the last key and man. Now trying to move the cursor arrow, press home to move the cursor beginning of the command, next control right arrow 3 times to move the cursor right 3 times. C drive run DOS find black PH text black-headed flat bracket sort parameter 11. Final exercise, try to delete the commands control end with all characters from the cursor of the end of the line vanish. C run drive run dash find black PH test control left arrow to move the cursor of the P and PH save the run dash find black and PhD as control home type the delete with the characters between the cursor of the beginning of the command. C run dash PhD and very left what's left is in a very meaning so clean up the press and escape to ensure the entire line C run DOS. Alright, entering multiple commands in DOSKey. In Chapter, you've seen many of the redirections with the arrow bracketed pipe with a flat bracket. Similar to carry out with more one command, same time with the other commands. While MS-DOS, you might some of that with what though thought with the nicer two, the more related, unrelated commands. MS-DOS carry out one over the after the other. With DOSKey, you can type any command as you want, up to maximum 128 characters. Tell DOSKey one command end of the next begin with a Control T, which displays a paragraph mark. To see how the features work, go through the following example which clear the screen. The new directory with the task menu with the task current directory display with the directory listing. You'll enter all four commands, same line, separating the Control T, run DOS, CLS, Control T, mid test, Control T, CDSD directory. When you press enter, the screen clears. Commands are carried out one at a time. It happens quickly. Each command is displayed as it's carried out. You can see the results: run DOS, MD test, change directory, make directory test, change directory test, and then run directory test directory tree. The next example, the copy command to create a sample file with a copy and console type, run DOS test copy console exam control T type example. When you enter the line system, pause for the first command displayed with the MS says waiting you to create the sample file, so that it gives you the sample file name example control Z. You press enter for the ensure see the familiar one file copied mesh file by the second copy. You see run DOS type at the type of the example, the same file name example the type time you created the file and displayed file and clean up the directory type with the following setup commands. Alright, chapter summary. Have you seen the redirection filter command pipes that lets you create powerful specific commands? You consider these all other MS-DOS commands you've entered. You can begin seeing the ways you can adapt the MS-DOS to your own needs and circumstances. Chapter end of the part of the book deals with MS-DOS provided on disk. The next three chapters show you how to combine MS-DOS commands and set known as batch files to put more of power over the MS-DOS to work. You have building blocks now. It's the time to use them to customize MS-DOS. Chapter 14, creating your own commands.